race. Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin of rbwins.com. As always, on a Tuesday, we're going to be discussing the NBA, and we're going to be discussing it with that handsome gentleman on the other side of me, Mr. Chip Chirimbus of chipwins.com. Chipper, how was your weekend?
Well, thank you, Ross. You're always so gracious. The weekend, it was lonely. There was no football. That didn't work out. Saturday in college basketball was horrendous. I did rebound a little bit in the pros, but in college basketball, I'm 9-3 my best bets in the last 12, and in the pros, not quite as good. Only 6-4 in the last 10 best bet releases. But otherwise, I don't think there's that much for me to brag about, Ross. Only my top plays right now.
I gotta fess up to you. We discussed on Friday night. I said, Chip, why is Oregon just an opening 2.5 point favorite?
Right.
And that was at
Utah.
Yeah. Utah had just snapped a 10-game losing streak, and
right.
And Oregon had been red hot at the time. I think they were 8-1 in the last 9.
Right.
And we both agreed and said that looks like a trap. So what did I do? I said, you know what? I'm going to go against what I normally do, and I'm going to I just can't see Oregon losing to Utah or not winning by more than 3 points in this game. So they had a 14-point lead with 5 minutes to go. And they got outscored 22-9 down the stretch. 22 points Utah scored in the last 5 minutes. And look at that guy smile. You know why? He was on the right side.
You know what?
So I outsmarted myself.
That's why that line was 2.5. But, we do that to ourselves all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's just you overthink, you know?
We come in loving the side, taming the game, and you go, and then
yeah, and the money was said that I should go with Utah. I mean, I don't know, Chip. Sometimes, if I had a hammer, I hit myself in the head. But Friday night, I had Colorado State, 10 minutes to go. They're up 20, and they end up winning the game by 1 as a 3-point favorite. So I've been on a nice run since January 28th. I'm 24-15 with my last 39 picks in college basketball, the NBA, NFL combined. It's 62%. But I can't help but bring up those bad losses, man. How do you, 22 points in the last 5 minutes? Think about that. That's an 88-point pace for a half.
It had to be. That's why the line was 2.5.
Anyway, all right. So these are the days we have to be real careful. It's the dog. What I like to call is the dog days of winter in the NBA. We're into early February. We're approaching the All-Star break. Players can't wait to get to the break and take exhale. Those who aren't participating in the All-Star festivities, that is. But the one thing I look at this time of year is rest, Chip. And this is where you're not making a final stretch run, and you're right in the middle of things, and you can't wait to get to the break. And if you're fatigued, sometimes it's a good idea to go against teams that are fatigued, against teams that, for example, there's a specific instance tonight where one team is playing with 2 days rest and another team's playing their third game in 4 days, all on the road. So those are the type of situations we need to pay attention to. Agree or no, Chip?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Teams on the road without rest, and they're coming in with a team laying in wait. I can see it. I understand it. We look for it all the time.
Yeah.
And we look for different kinds of factors, travel from east to west and things along those lines, even west to east, actually, because of the starting time. We know in football that these early starting times for the West Coast teams, when they come to the East and they're playing on the East Coast, those early starting times kill them. Yeah. They give them a hard time. And I imagine in basketball, Ross, they do so much traveling. I mean, they're on a plane 3 times a week going to different cities when they're on road trips. And, I think it'll catch up to them.
Yeah, not only are they on road trips, but then these COVID protocols are keeping them in hotels, and a lot more stress in this COVID era on the players than in normal years prior to the COVID epidemic hitting us. So Something to keep an eye on, folks. You look for little things, and that doesn't mean you automatically go against a team in that situation that I just described. But it's an indicator, right, Chip? It's a starting point, and then you look further.
You say these guys are locked in a room because of COVID. Maybe somebody should have locked Allen Kamara in over the weekend because these guys, they can't handle Vegas. I mean, I was out there 35 years, and I never went through this kind of problems. These guys get there, they lose their minds.
Hey, I spent a week in Vegas. I didn't have any issues, man. I minded my business at the sports book, and that's about it. And you spent many years there on and off, so we didn't get in trouble. I guess if you start paying us better than $1 million a year, who knows what could happen, even at our age, So anyway, Chipper, today is Tuesday, February the 8th. We're going to be covering an NBA game with a free pick for Wednesday, February the 9th.
Right.
And just a friendly reminder, folks, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take a second to do so. It costs you absolutely nothing. And you get the expert advice of myself and Chip Chirimbus and Doug Upstone from DocSports.com. That's a combined 80 years of experience in this industry. So, and I won't say
I got over half of it.
That's true. This is, we think we're veterans at 20 years. You're a fossil, for crying out loud. Anyway, Chipper, what do you got for us in the NBA for Wednesday, February 9th?
All right. Thank you, Russ. Matchup, two teams that I really like that are both struggling right now. Chicago's lost 3 of 4. They had the best record in the East about a week ago, and this game has dropped them down. And one of their problems is they've lost 2 people, and the most important was Lonzo Ball because he controls the ball, controls the tempo, and now he's not there. But Charlotte, Ross, they've lost 5 in a row. This team was number 1 in offense almost the entire season. Now they dropped down. They're still averaging 113 points a game, 113.3 to be exact. But they're shooting the last 6 games from the 3-point range, which is their strong point, which has always been their strong point. The entire season has been under 33% the last 6 games in a row. And they've lost Gordon Hayward. He was out 2 weeks, Ross, and then he came back. He played 1 game. The next game, he had to leave again with an ankle problem. And, it's too bad about his career because this kid looked like he was destined to be an all-star and an all-pro in college. And he just had it all. You can tell, his movement. And it's a sin what's happened to his career. But that being said, the Bulls are only 2-7 in their last 9 road games. And they've lost 3 of the last 4, like I've said. And they've lost their last 4 against the points. I'm going to take Charlotte at home as a small dog. I think they're getting 2.5. It should, I don't know if it's going to go any higher than that. But this Charlotte team, I'm kind of disappointed the way they've been playing of late, and I think they're the side here. I think they're the side. I'm going to take Charlotte plus the points against Chicago. Chicago's hurting. Here's a team that did have the best record and had surprised a lot of people. Donovan's done a great job. Billy Donovan's done a great job there. And, so we're just going to go from there. Oh, by the way, Chicago has lost the last 4 ATS meetings with Charlotte. And prior to that, it was Chicago's won the last 4. Last 4 meetings, Chicago has won against the spread. And the previous 6, the Hornets own the Bulls. So I'm looking for a turnaround here. Chicago has won the last 4, but I think this situation with them being at home, needing a win really badly, and it's just the way to go because Chicago's struggling and they're injured. They're on the road. We know they've only won 2 of the last 9 away from Chicago Stadium or whatever they call it now. But who knows? I know it's at Wrigley Field, but we'll go from there.
Yeah, you make a good point because that's something we need to pay attention to for those of you out there who do bet futures. We're not one of them, neither myself or Chip. We don't like to lock ourselves and be married to one team down the stretch. And then you make a futures bet. And anytime you go against that team, after you make that futures bet, everybody questions you. So that's why I'm not a futures guy, and I'm pretty sure that's why Chip isn't either. Yeah. And plus, there's not a big market for us to give out futures. If we do futures, we're making bets on our own, and the only one we have to answer to is ourselves. If we want to go against that team, that's our own prerogative on a game-by-game basis. Now, where I'm going with this is, you want to be looking for teams that are balanced offensively and defensively. Like Chip just said, Charlotte's still averaging 113 points or better a game.
Yep.
And, but, you know, their enigma, in my opinion, is their defensive play. It's been shoddy. I mean, they've won a lot of high scoring games this year. And, you know, when teams are good defensively, they could overcome tough shooting nights. And so that's something to keep an eye on. You know,
what's the word, Ross? The word is that defense travels well, right?
Yes, exactly
Yeah.
right. You know, defense travels well, defense carries you on bad shooting nights. So I'm not saying that you want to take a team that's averaging the low 100s and only shooting 45% on the year, and they have a decent defense. You want that balance. You want a team somewhere around the 47% or more field goal percentage, which is tough to find. And then in the defense, anything 42% or below in the NBA is great defense. So just some food for thought. Chipper, we got off a little bit on a tangent there, but I have a free pick tomorrow in the Toronto and Oklahoma City game. You might be watching this not tomorrow, but Wednesday. Okay, depending on when you view this podcast. Toronto right now is a 9-point favorite. And you know what? The Raptors are red hot. They're 6-0 straight up in ATS in their last 6. And as a result, I tend to think this line is a little bit inflated because of public perception. I mean, you're looking at an Oklahoma City team, only 17-36 on the year, and they're playing a red hot Toronto team in Toronto. To me, this line should be somewhere around 6.5 or 7. And I'm fully convinced they bumped this up to 9 because they anticipate action coming in on Toronto. But you look at this Oklahoma City team, 11-1 against the spread in their last 12 as a home underdog of +1.5 or more. And all of those 12 games took place this year. Not only that, this is a team, in spite of that terrible straight up record that I just alluded to, 17-36, they're 35-18 against the spread on the year. So I don't think a lot of people realize that this is a team that's covering 2 of every 3 games they're involved in. Since 2019, 2020, Toronto is 0-10 against the spread as a road favorite of between 3.5 to 9.5, which that falls into that parameter. And they're also 5-11 straight up. It's 5-11 straight up as a road favorite since last year. So they've been a road favorite 16 times since last year. They lost 11 of those games straight up. And also since last year, Toronto right now is a -500 on the money line. They're 0-5 straight up since last year as a money line favorite, road favorite, I should say, of -270 to -850. I'm going to take the inflated dog here, the Oklahoma City Thunder, +9 at home against Toronto. And Chipper, tell the folks who you like again, and then also tell them how you've been doing of late, what you got coming up.
All right, I'm going to come with Charlotte on Wednesday over the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls have been struggling. So has Charlotte, but they are at home. And I look for them to regain their shooting touch here, which they've had problems with. But you can go to chipwins.com and catch either my megabuck play or a triple play of NBA basketball action. And if you want any more information on it, my number's there. You can give me a call. But, you know, chipwins.com, log on, follow the buy links, and become an A-play winner, Ross.
Yes, sir. An A-play winner. He's a big time handicapper, and he's been doing it a long time. And his big games, his megabuck plays, they speak volumes because he continually wins and at a high percentage over a long period of time, folks. And that's a sign of an excellent handicapper and a guy who could make you a lot of money. You could find him at chipwins.com. You could find me at rbwins.com. That's R as in Ross, B as in Benjamin, WINS.com. My NBA picks 9-3 with my last 12. My college basketball 10-star top plays, which are the equivalent of Chip's megabuck plays or somebody else's best bets since February 27th of 2018. Chipper 88-63, 59%. So not bad there. Keep an eye on those college basketball 10-star top plays. The Super Bowl's coming up, and I'm going to have my picks up tomorrow. I'm going to have a 10-star top play total. I'm going to have a 5-star ATS side, but my NFL 10-star top plays going into the Super Bowl, I'm 11-4 with my last 15 in that regard. So a lot of good things happening at rbwins.com, chipwins.com. We both have daily, monthly, weekly, and annual packages. You could find at our websites. And until the next time, which will be Friday with Chip Chirimbus, when we'll be giving you a couple of college basketball winners for the Saturday card. Good luck, folks. God bless and take care.